Hey Tribe, what's up? In this video, I really want to kind of give you a real life example of the revision technique. Kind of explain it briefly, why we need to do it, but that's going to be brief because I really want to get to my example. And it's kind of fresh in my mind. That's why I'm doing this video. And when we kind of get to with the revision technique, what most people miss by Neville Goddard, because he's the one that really taught the revision technique, or kind of coined the phrase, the revision technique, is that it's really part of your manifesting practice. Like even if you go throughout your day, if you don't like something that's happened or a circumstance would happen, you either immediately go in your imagination and replay that scene like you really wanted it to go, or you do it as your bedtime routine. But it's something you're doing frequently all the time, if not daily. I mean, sometimes for me, I really don't do it daily, but I'm starting to do it as a general practice. Like either I'm stopping myself right now and maybe my mind goes in the gutter. Maybe something happened. Maybe a circumstance happened. Maybe I had a rough conversation with somebody and it didn't end very well. And I immediately go in my mind, I immediately go in my imagination and replay that scene like I really want it to happen. You get me on that? And the reason why we want to do this, the revision technique, is because remember, what you assume to be true always is a self-reflection in your life. And what you dwell on, you bring emotion to, especially, negative circumstances in your life, thing that's happening that you feel like that's out of your control, or you just didn't handle the right way. You understand what I'm saying? That leaves an imprint in your mind, and we tend to loop it. Okay, we tend to kind of play those scenes in our mind over and over and over and over and over. We tend to kind of fester on it. And to make it worse, lots of times we tend to talk about it to our significant other, talk about it to our family or whatnot. And all you do is recreate those things into your life. Okay, that's what you have to understand when Imagination Creates Reality by Neville Goddard. Manifesting in general, right now, it could not really even be about Neville Goddard. You understand what I'm saying? But once you focus on it, it has to come into your reality. And where we're constantly focused on the past, things that's happened in our past, all we're doing is recreating them into our future. So that's really why Neville Goddard developed the revision technique. But long story short, let me give you my real life example, what happened to me today. And we'll be a little bit sentimental here. But today, lo and behold, it kind of started off as a rough day, okay? And that rough day didn't end until I woke up pretty early. So today I kind of slept in. Sleeping in, I think I woke up at 6 a.m., something like that. That's sleeping in for Chad. And the rough day didn't end until about 3:30 p.m. until I snapped out of it. And I kind of was aware with what I was doing, and I literally snapped out of it. I started listening to some positive stuff that I usually listen to, and I went in the living room and did the revision technique. I replayed my day, replayed my morning up till 3:30 p.m. like I wanted it to go. Okay, that's what I did. Because again, like when I woke up, we got money, we got Lucky and Money. That's our puppies, okay? They're still kind of going the training thing, the training, potty training. Plus, we're rebuilding the wall to kind of close off everything so they don't go to the road. So we're finishing that. The last 2 days, it's pretty much rained the entire day. So one, they can't go outside like they used to, okay, because of the rain and the mud and all that stuff. They'll get all crazy dirty. Then two, they're working on the wall, finishing the gate on the driveway. So it protects them, So I got to clean up the pee, whatever. That's normal. And that's like my new normal right now. So I'm making my coffee, whatever. I'm sitting down, sipping my coffee. Then the next door neighbor starts blaring music, or I can hear the thump inside the house. And that's just something like A and I have been dealing with lately, with people just blasting their music. So that kind of started my day off kind of rotten a little bit. And right when Aang woke up, I told her, hey, we got to go over and talk to the next door neighbor because she's starting to play the music a little bit too loud. And if you can hear it inside your place, it's too loud. No, sorry, but that's how the Chad works. Okay. But it didn't stop there. You know, a little bit later on, I thought, you know, it's been raining a lot, and they kind of halted on working on the wall. Not the wall, but they're putting the whole driveway gate there, like the car gate that goes across the driveway. So we're shutting that off so it protects the puppies. The puppies can't go to the road. So they're halted because it rained all day yesterday. So this morning, and I went out and looked at it because they basically re-cemented the driveway. They had to install I don't know what it's called. So the wheels, it's like the track. They install the track for the gate so you can open and close it. But the track, I specifically told them, hey, buy everything stainless steel. I don't want nothing to rust. And I don't want anything to rust. No matter if you put a sealant on it or whatever, we're doing that, of course. But I don't want the metal itself to rust, okay? I made that clear many, many times. So I go out and look at it. It's been like one day of rain. That whole sucker is flipping rusted. So you can guess. This Chad, dude, flipped out, okay? I'm mad right now because I said, no, I told him so many times. Aang's stressful because Aang knows me a little bit. She knows I'll pull the plug on everything, you know what I mean? But this time, it's a little bit harder to pull the plug because I already have bought all the materials. So, of course, we go over, we talk to him. I'm not talking to the bill, I'm talking to his wife, which I didn't hire the wife, but he wasn't there, so we're talking to the wife. And then I start looking at everything, and she's like, well, it's not done yet, They're gonna sand the rust off and coat it with a sealant so it won't rust. And I said, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I specifically said from the beginning, I want stainless steel, okay? And they didn't listen. So, we kind of have had a rough conversation there for a little while. So, we decided we're still going to move forward with it, but Aang's like super stressed because Aang don't like confrontation and stuff like that. So she's super stressed. Then that was a big thing that kind of went on. When I come back here, I'm trying to work a little bit, trying to get it out of my mind. Then a little bit later on, we thought, well, we'll walk down to get some Thai tea. I'm still frustrated by it. Then as we're walking down to get Thai tea, people's blaring their music so you can hear their bass all the while I'm walking down trying to get some Thai tea. But there's a little shop down here. We don't go to it very often, but we thought with all the rain and stuff like that, I didn't feel like driving anywhere. So, I go down and I'm just like, oh my God, dude, like the flipping music, dude. And that's what you have to understand with Thailand. Like the problem with the music is that they build everything, especially in these villages, and even in these touristy areas, they do the same thing, is they build everything just cement and metal. It's all like cement and metal. Okay, metal roofs, metal steel bars going. Everything's just cement and metal. So what you have to understand is nothing absorbs sound. So that's why sound, if you've been in Thailand, you know what I'm saying, sound just goes so far. I mean, from the next village over, if they blast music, you can hear it over here. Then once it comes into your house, they build all the walls with cement and the ceiling is metal. So once the sound comes in, it basically kind of bounces around. So it enhances the sound. So everything sounds louder than what it really, really is and what it really, really should be. Okay. So with that, we're kind of, long story short with that one, we're kind of slowly working on that because, it's me kind of helping Aang with it, but, basically putting in better windows. Sooner or later, we basically get rid of the metal roof and put a more expensive roof, make sure everything's insulated. So we can basically stop the sound coming in. So that's a work in progress. But anyway, that was my day. That was my morning up to 3:30. I was kind of very agitated, almost having a meltdown. If you're on the spectrum, if you have high functioning autism or stuff like that, neurodivergent. And what I kind of noticed you kind of go into a loop. You know what I mean? Like once one negative thing happens, isn't it funny how you kind of spirals into the next negative thing? Because you're in that mood. So again, it's just basic law of attraction. I'm in that mood. I'm emotional about it. Right when I woke up with the music, that led to me seeing my Sorry about my hands shaking. My hands like, I don't know if you can see that on camera. Let me change hands here. So, okay, when some stuff happens to us, what we have to understand, that this is proven, by the way, is we think on loop, okay? And when we think on loop, once one negative thing happens, we kind of think on loop, it's emotional, it's real for us, then it just goes to the next thing, goes to the next thing, go to the next thing. That's what was basically happening today. And I finally kind of caught myself 8 hours later. And I kind of just tried to like sit down. I was here kind of at my desk, kind of sitting down. Okay. And then I thought, as I was working, kind of finishing up stuff, I started listening to some videos I listen to from time to time, kind of get my mind right. Then I was thinking, then all of a sudden I became self-aware of what was going on. And I thought, what, I gotta sit down to do the revision technique. I gotta revise my day right now on the spot. Not wait till nighttime. I'll probably do it at nighttime too, but before I go to bed, as I drift off to sleep. But I need to do it right now. Because, and this is what Neville Goddard was really talking about. He brought it up throughout several of his books, the revision technique. He really talked about it in one of his lectures called The Pruning Shears of Revision. And that's what we have to understand, is that he kind of put it more, your mind's a garden. And in order to keep your mind a beautiful garden, okay, beautiful landscaping, okay, you need pruning shears. You need to trim your garden. You need to trim the weeds. You need to keep the weeds under control. Because if you let the weeds get out of control, which is your thoughts and emotions and bad circumstances and stuff like that, that's what starts manifesting in your life. Because, okay, remember this, okay, when you go using a revision technique, your mind, your subconscious mind, will basically remember your last thought. So that's why this is so powerful. It's because you always remember your last thoughts. You always remember the last incident. So the whole idea, when you go in and revise your day, how you really wanted it to go, okay, and I'll tell you how it went in a second, okay? Honestly, when you do this, that's what you last think about. And that's what you last think about. That's what your subconscious mind grabs a hold of, and that's the level you manifest on, okay? But if you don't do this, you kind of stay in this negative cycle, well, you're recreating it in your future. You understand what we're doing. Same way with our past, okay? You can revise your past how you wanted it to go, because Neville Goddard knew that from your past, if you don't revise it, you don't let the dead bury the dead, you're recreating it in your future. And that's why you have similar things happen to you over and over and over and over that you don't want. Okay, you understand that a little bit. Okay, so like when I did the revision technique, one of the things here is I think the revision technique is honestly stronger than imagination creates reality. Now, what I mean by that, it's stronger than if you go into SATs and you lay down and you create an imaginal scene of your dream car or your dream house, because that takes a little bit of while. The reason why that takes a while to get good at it is because you have to produce that feeling state. You got to produce those emotions that you really have your dream house. You really have your car, okay? But when you do the revision technique, listen, it's so easy to go in your imagination because it just happened to you. It's fresh in your mind. The emotion is fresh. So it's so easy to go through it. You're imagining, because you really did it. You understand what I'm saying. And you revise it, okay? So this is what I did. I went in. I sat on the couch, but it was quiet in there. I just sat back, closed my eyes, and I started thinking. I started replaying from the beginning of the day when I woke up. Went in. The puppies are trained. I didn't have to clean up pee. I made my coffee. I sat down. It was really peaceful and quiet. So quiet, so peaceful. Okay. Came in here, worked a little bit. Once the rain stopped, I went outside and I looked at the track. It was really, really, really shiny silver of the metal that shine. It was beautiful. Okay, then I told Aang about it, how a nice job that he did. It was so nice and so beautiful. Okay. Now I came back in her, worked a little bit. Then I played with the puppies a little bit. Then we walked down and got some Thai tea. And as we walked down and got some Thai tea, it was so quiet. It was so peaceful, just taking that peaceful walk. No music, no thumping in the background. So peaceful. Went and got Thai tea and came back here. You see what I'm doing? Okay, that was my real original day. Sorry about that. My hand keeps on shaking. My hand's tired. Holding the tripod. But that was my real day. So it's so easy to go inside your imagination because it really happened to you. It's a real emotion. And you can play it through really, really easy. And then at the end of it, I say, it is done. It's completed. And I open my eyes. And I went on with my day. Right now, it's almost 5 p.m. So I probably did this maybe an hour ago. Something like that. That's why I wanted to share it with you. But to kind of sum up this video, another thing I want to share is that, once you do it, it is so true, is that that's the last thing your mind thinks about. When you start naturally thinking about it again, you actually think about your revised day first. You have to think really hard to bring in the negative again. See, that's the power, okay? So even with this, Neville Goddard is super right on the point with this. Is once you revise your day, revise that circumstance, revise that thing that you didn't like what happened, and you rewrote it in your mind how you really want it to be. That's what you really think about. That's the last thing you think about, and that's the key, because if that's the last thing you think about, the last thing how you ended it, that's what your subconscious mind grabs a hold of. That's what your subconscious mind believes. Okay? And your subconscious mind, again, is very impersonal. It don't care about you. Okay, that's about how I like to put it. I hit my mic there. It doesn't try to figure out what's good or bad for you, what's right and wrong. Okay, it's very black and white. Okay, it doesn't try to figure out what's true or fake. Okay, it doesn't try to figure out what's reality and not. It just whatever you give it, it gives you. It reciprocates it. So when you redesign what you want, how you want your day to go in your mind, it's going to give you exactly that. Okay, so powerful. But anyway, tribe, let's wrap this baby up because I didn't want this video to be too long. Plus, I don't want to go on and on and on about it because I just did a revision technique. You know what I'm saying here. So, but anyway, let me know, comment below, let me know if you've done the revision technique. Let me know what you think about it, you know what I mean? Or if you need help with it. More, like kind of the more I do this work, I'm kind of getting, I've known about the revision technique for years, okay? But I'm starting to really kind of get into doing it because I really kind of see the importance of it. The real true importance of it is we got to keep our mind under control. Anything that happens in our life can be revised. Okay, what you're going through right now, what you went through in the past, it can be revised. It can be rewritten. You just have to revise it in your imagination. You think about that circumstance. You replay it, but you replay it how you wanted it to go, exactly to the T. And at the end, it is done, baby. And that will reshape your reality. That's how you bend reality. Okay. But other than that, tribe, peace out. And I'll see you in the next video.